Cavemen and animals both used to fear fire. But cavemen had the intelligence to recognize that fire served many purposes, like warmth and how to better prepare food. It's very instinctual to be afraid of new technologies, but sometimes I think we need to embrace them and realize that they can be used as This truck is running about as rough as me running outside in this heat. Let me start it up so you can hear for yourself. Yeah, see, you shouldn't be shaking like that. So if I get close to underneath the truck here, you should be able to hear. It sounds like it's got kind of a mist. Now, I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong with this truck, but I thought it would be much more interesting if we called in some help today. And we're gonna see if ChatGPT can help us figure out what's wrong with this truck. I have a 1993 S10 with a 4.3 motor. The motor, the spark plugs, and the fuel filter are new, but as you can hear, it's running very rough. What do you suggest?
I'm sorry to hear that your 1993 S10 is running rough. Here are some possible causes and troubleshooting steps you can take. Ignition system. Check the ignition components such as the distributor cap, rotor, ignition coil, and ignition wires. Ensure they are in good condition and properly connected. Faulty ignition components can lead to misfires and rough running.
Y'all please subscribe to this YouTube channel so I can hire someone and not have to look this weird to my neighbors. So first, we need to visually inspect the ignition components for damage. So that would be like corrosion, anything like that. The distributor cap is new. I have checked, I know it's on there solid. I've already checked to make sure the plugs are on good. This is also new. So I don't see any corrosion. I would be very surprised if we did see corrosion since almost all of this is new. Next, set your multimeter to the resistant ohms setting. All right, so we've got our handy dandy voltmeter, and if we actually read the instructions inside, it tells you exactly how to test your ignition system and where to turn the dial. So we've got it on the 200 ohm. To check the ignition coil, I don't think this is gonna do much. This coil is brand new, but ChatGPT told me to check it, so we're gonna check it. So we've got our positive and our negative, and we should get about 1 ohm when we put it in there. There we go. 1.5, that's in spec, so that's considered good. We've got the ignition coil itself. We turn that over to 20, and we need one end of the multimeter here, and then one end on this end, and we're getting about 3.8. Okay, even when we move it, the number stays about the same. That is in spec. All right, so we know our ignition coil is good. So what should we check on next?
Fuel system. Examine the fuel injectors and ensure they are clean and functioning correctly. To test the injectors on your vehicle, you can follow these steps. Locate the fuel injectors. The fuel injectors are typically found near the intake manifold or fuel rail. Disconnect the fuel injector electrical connectors. Disable the fuel pump. To prevent fuel from spraying while testing, you need to disable the fuel pump. Connect a NOID light or test light.
All right, so it sounds like we need to go get a test light. I just got this new GoPro, so enjoy some 360 footage of that. How's it going? Making a YouTube video. All right, we are back with the test light, and my GoPro already stopped working. Future Chance here with a clean shave and a clean outlook. I couldn't get the test light to work to check the injectors, and I had a NOID light coming, but as you'll see later in the video, that ended up not being the problem anyway, so we're just gonna go on to the next thing. So one thing you can do to test for your vacuum lines is let the truck run, and then I've got a bottle of water here, and you just spray around any vacuum lines you think might be leaking. Just give them all like a good spray. And if you hear the truck idle down at all, or just the idle changes at all, you know you've got a leak. All right, and as you can see, we've sprayed everything down and we haven't gotten any difference in the idle. So that tells us we don't have a vacuum leak, which I kind of expected. There's not a lot of vacuum lines on this truck. And they looked a little cracked, but nothing too bad. All right, next we have an easy one. We're checking the mass airflow sensor. And I say it's easy because to check the mass airflow sensor and see if it's bad, all we need to do and we see it is still running just as rough after I unplugged it. If your mass airflow sensor is bad, your truck will actually start running correctly when you unplug it, or at least closer to correct. All right, well, we have one thing left to check, and past that, that's the complete list that I was given from ChatGPT. So the last thing we have to check is the exhaust system. So we check to see if we have any exhaust leaks that we can see. The only thing we might have now is a clogged catalytic converter. That's not something I want to buy the tools to check for myself. So we're going to take it to the shop and see what's wrong. And as soon as I get back, we'll go over the results and see if ChatGPT knew what it was talking about.
Several days later.
Well, we have the verdict. As you can hear, she is running much better. So about the issue, let me grab something real quick. So you may remember, or may not, that at the beginning of the video, the very first thing that ChatGPT told me to do was check the spark plug wires. You may or may not, I don't know, have heard that I boasted a little bit about I didn't think that the spark plug wires or you know, anything attached to the ignition system would be the problem, because they were all new. And so I may have skimmed over the visual inspection a little bit. What the shop found as soon as they put it on the lift, and they looked at it from the underside, was that the spark plug wire was laying on the headers. So I've torn it a little more to show where the spot was, but the wire was laying directly. Oh well, now it's just completely broken off. The wire was laying directly on the headers and arcing out. And I don't claim to know a lot about cars or trucks or motors or anything else, but that sounds like a recipe for a miss to me. And I think that actually makes a great way to sum this video up, because while it proved that ChatGPT is a great tool and it is very capable of helping you find your problems, I think one thing we need to realize is that a tool is only good as the person using it. And so the tool today kind of made me look like a tool. Basically what ChatGPT did was laid out a very basic ground instruction book of all of the things you should check when you have a miss. You know, if you're shooting at a target with a bow and arrow, it's not always easy to hit, but if you're firing a bazooka at it, you cover enough ground, you're generally gonna hit your target. And that's what ChatGPT did. It was very easy for me to look at those first things and just gloss over, because I knew those wouldn't be the problems. Whereas an experienced mechanic would have been able to put it on the lift and immediately start crossing off more common issues that they already know about through years of practice. I would say for a DIYer, ChatGPT is a great tool to use. Run it through some of what you're going through, some of the troubles you're having with your vehicles. Just see what it comes up with. And who knows, it could help you fix your truck. It could make you realize you need to use your tools better and pay attention to them better. That's kind of what I got from it. So let me take you for a test drive, and then I'm gonna show you what the truck sounded like before and after. Right, if we just give it a little, you can hear very smooth. Just goes like, it just, you know, it just rides like it should. Now here's the clip of how it was riding just a few days ago. All right, well, I think that pretty well sums it up. I want to hear from you guys, and if you've made it this far in the video, drop me a comment on what is the craziest problem that you've solved with your vehicles, like one that was giving you so much trouble, and like just let me know what it ended up being. I'd love to hear some. Currently dealing with that with my Bronco. I still have no idea what could possibly be wrong with that thing. I am very excited for the videos I have coming. So if you want to see more, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Appreciate you guys for watching. Keep making progress, and I'll see you in the next one.